Going off of a whim, I woke up really early. I went to sleep really early. Uh, I started watching Noah. I got it from the library. Oh my gosh, it's such a horrible movie. Um, just in general. But I know I got criticism because what they called it was a Gnostic version of Noah. No. That is not a Gnostic version of Noah. But it made me realize a couple things. Like my daughter, her mom is invested in this. So this in one sense has to be a clear, concise message to all kids, really. When your parents show you this in any of its form, they're telling you straightforward, they will hate you if you do not comply. They will never embrace you as a primitive parent embraced a primitive human child, human parent embraced a primitive human child, in which what I'm about to show you, this did not distort or corrupt their intentions towards you. So we're going to start off on the beginning. Genetics. So, the way I've decided to use this Bible in my own Tommy J, other than Thomas Jefferson raping untold numbers of young black girls based on the justification they were slaves, his property, and therefore it was morally acceptable and biblically sound, which is still accepted today by the very women who celebrate Thomas J, because they wish they were one of them black women to be raped. Oh, they don't? Oh, then why do they celebrate him? So what I do, Thomas Jefferson rewrote the New Testament. Well, I don't have to rewrite shit, because they wrote it all fucking down. And I'm not trying to fucking rewrite the shit. So what I do is I underline in red. I've decided to show and to expose the scale of fascist rhetoric that spans throughout this entire book. And my intent, well, I guess it's not all red. My intent is to continually demonstrate the origin of fascist ideology in that there's no devil, there's no God, there's no secret fucking spiritual celestial plot. There's an imperial interest manifested in Roman fascism that is saturated into this. As such, this is the manual of destruction and rape and robbery and genocide. And a parent will do all those said things in order to sustain a child's focal attention at this. Wherein otherwise the child would have no regard for this worthless piece of fucking vile shit that seeks to destroy every element that is in them, that has the potential to save them from the fucking wicked, disgusting, fascist fucking plot that is invested in this shit. And the sick-minded, robotic, biological drones who think they're human but align with this, especially the pathetic, and I'm actually talking to my daughter's mom, the pathetic, fat, disgusting beast who will align with this, yet not have even the fucking common dignity or decency to fucking read it. That's how fucking cowardly they are. Because they know when they open it, I don't know. No, you understand it. It's fucking horrible, disgusting shit. And you would rather read some fucking white guy's fucking version, because typically it's pretty much a white guy or a white lady. Or a non-white person referencing a white person version of why this is actually good. So let's get into this. In the beginning, Genesis 2, And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. Moved upon the face of the waters. That is the womb. This is telling you, or the genesis, the genetic code. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Identification. The ability, we associate the ability to see with the ability to identify where you're at. The ability to identify where you're at is the ability to identify who you are. Isn't that fair? Life's a bitch. When in Rome. And then down to 4. And God saw light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. There's an important thing to note right there. Again, the fascist fucking interpretation overlooks the fact that this is creating the very concept of uncertainty, because it was only after the creation, you understand, that God discovered that light was different from dark. And God made the firmament, which is the space. Some scholars suggest that this could possibly be the atmosphere, as far as like up into the stratosphere. Others believe that at one point that there was actually a layer of water, like an embryonic fluid sac around the earth on top of the water. And divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. I have a question mark. Heaven and hell. There's some kind of, and understand the waters represent consciousness. So you have a consciousness, actually this is on the fly. So when you separate the waters, you have a subconscious that is in the air, so to speak, your head in the clouds, or like in the movie Noah, between Noah and the king, both of them have their own self-perceived relationship with God that I think Noah says at one point, I'm trying to make you a man so you can do what must be done. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And the evening and the morning were the second day in between. So, the heaven and the hell. Okay, in one sense, the waters above and below and the space in the middle is heaven. Okay, so you have the two consciousness. When you're free from the influence of this on your self-conscious, that's when you're in that firmament. That, but later on, which is called the chasm, in Jesus' story about the Lazarus and the rich man. But I get into that too. Going to verse 16, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So I have put here denigration of ancient teachings. See Hypatia. And God said, set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Most people would think that this has to do with the moon and the sun. But since God didn't create the moon and the sun, and there is no God, that this is Roman imperial fascism, what you have to do is you have to recognize that the empire creates essentially what has come to be termed class systems, which is not a new term, because from when you get down to, anyways, I don't get into that shit. You're a fucking jackass. If you don't fucking, I mean, you're not a jackass, you are fucking one of them. So I don't have to worry about fucking appealing to you. If you're not one of them, you'll fucking get it. It's as simple as that. Actually, if you're one of them, you'll get it too. That's the scary part. Upper waters go untouched by God. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. So the heavens and the earth, but remember, he had waters above. So there's a higher conscious that God could not touch, or that the empire could not touch. This is a warning sign. See, within this, it's not all fluff. There are warnings about what human potential to escape from the clutches of imperial fascism. And Adam said, chapter 2, verse 23, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Now, this is one of the most fundamental. Oh, there's the other thing too. Going with, and God made the two greater lights, and He also made the stars. I'm coming to the realization that the star is actually the symbol for the female, and that, like, what we call the Star of David is in one sense the symbol of the male, with the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the shlong being the 6. The star that we come to has come to be absorbed into the symbol of the republic or military. Actually, the military is a sign of the republic. That's what the generals have, 4 stars and whatnot. And that's a Western thing. So anytime you see a star on a general, you know that that's a Western fascist element of the empire. Especially if you see it in South America, Africa, any non-white European area that uses stars to designate a hierarchical order in their military is announcing, publicizing, yes, we are a component of the fact. They don't have to, it's not a requirement, but it's blatant. But so a star means female. So basically, it's kind of saying in one sense, God made, the empire makes 2 kind of men, and it also makes women. The goal is this conflict. There's a conflict right there that exists. And again, it has nothing to do with the moon. But it goes over here. God said, and she's taken out of man. No. So, all fascist, romantic-sized Christian Torah Quran, they have to teach their daughters, and this is this vile, disgusting filth of the men and the women who call themselves mothers and fathers, who fucking fill their kids with this fucking shit. So here we go. Speaking of Noah, let's get into Noah. I've done this before, but I have here my notes. Noah rapes his son. Because unlike the drone fascist fucks of the empire, I don't have to fucking take anything with a grain of salt. I don't have to pretend to dignify what you consider your belief system any more than you have dignified or dignify the ancient cultural traditions and people that still live on this fucking planet and are still being massacred by you and this fucking disgusting fucking cancer. So Noah rapes. Noah's drunkenness. And this is the way, this is how, again, this is the brain's fuck. Goes with all rape throughout this whole fucking thing. And in the movie it even says where Noah's, where the bad guy who gets in the boat is pitching a fit, eats the snake and eats the snake. Bites the head of the snake off. So for that's to identify him as the evil, as the tempter, and he's talking to Ham. It's important to note too that today they associate Ham with Africa. Canaan, the crown jewel of Africa, the entry point. So, he says God made everything, and then after he had made everything, then he realized he needed more. Again, that realization thing. And God realized the light was good. And God realized he wasn't done. And God realized man wasn't complete. And God realized he had to make a companion. And then what else did God realize? When the fucking shit does God know anything? Oh, not in this Bible. So, Noah's drunkenness. And this goes to show this. This is what brainwashing is, and because it's how parents teach their kids to shut off the capacity of their brain to designate the truth of this shit. And it's over and over that they become droned themselves. And this is how you rob a human child of the capacity to be alive, and therefore you produce people like my daughter's mother and her family, who are in their own sense, yes, I understand. I don't have to be nice when I talk shit. They are fucking disgusting. They're fucking decrepit. They're valueless. Their father claims heroism because he survived watching women be raped on his journey up here and had and stayed focused like Noah. this is the thing about Noah too. The Noah fucking story is a testament that is a terror tactic in order to produce inside of the male, the patriarchal male structure, a that neurotic compulsion to be in control, which is not, and then thus interpreted to be a natural male characteristic, as in human. And then this is what they want to associate with animals. But other than that, no, we're not animals. But when they want to get down to the brute force, they want to associate us with animals. See how they work this shit? But we are animals. So Noah's drunkenness. And the sons of Noah went forth of the ark, and Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. Africa, that's my thing. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, was taught. And he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. So he knew how to, somebody taught him how to make wine. Ham, the father of Canaan, Africa, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren. Let's just say Ham is Africa, Japheth is fucking, I don't know, fucking Asia, and Shem is fucking Americas. Okay. The nakedness of his father. I have here what Ham saw, what Africa sees is the Western civilization. The nakedness of his father is Western civilization in this. And he told his brethren without. He went and snitched. And this is where you get the massive span and the fucking widespread, fucking chaotic flow of rape that came along with all things fucking biblical, Abrahamic, Quranic, Toranic, Mormonic. Okay, and then Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards, walked backwards. There's a poem that says rivers and streams. Oh, in Buddhism, there's a plight that happens when the collapse of a city, and the symbolism used is the rivers and streams run backwards, and people will wait for the rivers and streams to run backwards, not realizing that it's just a means of conveying the methods of sustaining and carrying on life as most humans live by rivers and streams. Those will no longer function. That's what fascism is. So that's what Buddhism is conveying, is this shit right here. It gets humans to go backwards. And this notion of shame, how it betrays, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. Again, their father is Western civilization. So it comes down to when the person comes forward and says, look at how disgusting and filthy this fucking nasty shit is. It's fucking bare. The good minions, like the mother of my child and her family, they will go and reinforce to my daughter, no, you are evil. No, you are a sinner. No, you are bad. No, everything that this says about you as a female and as a human is true. And you are a degenerate, horrible person, absent this. And they will convey, be wary of the traps and the guys that I'll lay for her in order to trick her from going to this. And the way that they create separation so as to, this is the concentration camp style. My daughter is being raised. This is the poor shit about it. The separation of the child from the parent, from another parent, for the sole purpose of this, is the epitome of the way this fucking shit works. So, Noah woke, yes, we all have issues, and this is how we figure fucking life out. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him, which is tell. Is that all he did? And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." So this is the Republic or Western civilization saying, no, Africa will never, ever, ever, ever be equal according to this fucking book. They will always be the second light. Okay, God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. That's an economic structure, a three-tier economic style structure. You have a ruling class, a working class, and a black. You have to have that. If they free the slaves, you have to Jim Crow them. If you integrate or desegregate, then you have to utilize the prison system. If you allow them to vote, then you have to use a prison system to strip them of their vote. If you allow them to be president, then you have to intensify fucking shutting down their educational process, their education places, invading the communities with police stop and frisk and murders, publicizing them even more without any reconciliation. So anyways, the sons of Ham, Cush, blah, 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 blah. So all the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Phut, and Canaan. So these are all cursed. The sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, Sabath, Rama, Rebekah, Rama, Sheba. The sons of Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Caleh, and the land of Shinar. Out of the land went forth Ashar. So anyways, so it's going on to say that everybody's cursed. And the proof of the curse is they throw in the Nimrod guy there as Shem association. Now this is all fabricated fucking bullshit. That's the important thing to remember. It don't fucking matter what name they fucking throw in their shit. The only point that they're trying to do is to facilitate hate toward the very targeted fucking identity. That identity is Africa. Or, well, we'll see. That's a big part of it. And Cush begat Nimrod. So, Cush. I like that. His name is Cush. Okay, these are the families and the sons of Noah and their generations in their nations. That's the other thing too, is the way that this book, afterwards, the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. So they're everywhere. And this goes on to become like the Gentile thing. After they kill everybody in Canaan, then they gotta water it down with Gentiles. And then today they don't even use Gentiles. And they were divided, these are the families and after their generation in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So here's the other thing too is there was what they're kind of covering up here is that humanity had actually come to a point in time where there was no rape, there was no robbery, that there was actually very accessible travel routes and that could be traversed very quickly, and humans had vastly more communication, as the Tower of Babel goes on to tell you, than they allow you to believe today. Because if you understand the function that humanity was able to achieve, that this is intended to deceive and dismantle, which is a human species, and this is dividing the many nations. And this is the whole thing is just about the destruction of the human psyche. So here we go. Dangerous propaganda. Violence against women activation. Act. Violence against women act. Evasion. Hagar given to Abram. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children. She had a handmaid, an Egyptian. Oh, how the tables turn. Oh, but it's only one little Egyptian girl. Just because he fucking rapes a little girl doesn't mean that it's right for the fucking Israels to be enslaved later on. That's not karma. It's just one little girl. That's not fair. Okay, she was a tween slave. Sarai said unto Abram. Ab is take away in Roman, and Ram is war, or Saturn, Aries. Behold, now the Lord had restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. That's rape. And he gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife / slave. And the angel of the Lord, and when but Abraham said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand, do with her as it pleaseth thee. And Sarah dealt hardly with her. She fled from her face. She tortured the little girl who had just been raped by the man. This very critical, callous programming that, again, parents force their fucking children to fucking chew on this, and their brains have to crunch these fucking numbers. And you wonder why the world is fucked up and no one can do anything. Look. Look at the cancer you throw inside of your fucking human brains. And 11, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and thou shalt call him Ishmael. Moby Dick. Because the Lord hath heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Remember, they already created a 3-tier system back in Noah's days. So you can understand that Hagar, as so forth, is not of the line of fucking whatever the fuck the other people are. But she's probably of the line of Ham. This is what they're implying here, because according to their story, it's not that long between then and now. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abraham called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. So Abraham accepted the name as per given by the slave girl. They probably try to say, like, look, see, that goes to prove he was a jester. After he raped her, he let her name her son, and then he cursed him. Here we go. And I will give, military supremacy. This is getting into the fascist empire right here. This is chapter 17, verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations I have made thee. Empire. A father of many nations is an empire. An empire makes nations. Abraham is conqueror of Africa. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee, or princes, as later conveyed by Machiavelli. And this is military supremacy, and this is likewise echoed in the Art of War, as well as in The Prince, in which it clearly states that the sole function of a nation or a republic, which this is creating republics, is to militarize the human population for domination and subjugation of themselves and others. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and thy seed after thee. Teach war. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for the everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Genocide. You flip over to Matthew 10:35, and I'm going to end this up. Matthew 10:35. So the most important thing is genocide, genocide, genocide. It's all in here. 10:35. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. This is Jesus. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be they of his own household. This is fascism. This is patriotism. This is the total denigration of the fifth world identity, which is the foundational core, the child element of the human species, which survives, which is the primary target. And so all you gotta do is, I'll do a quick shot here. You don't want to read any of those notes. But the foundation of Roman imperial fascism is in this book. And anybody that teaches it to their kids or tries to get their kid to conform it is an evil demon torturing them.